Hello, I'm Doug and this is the Taste and Sensibility channel. And today on Brie-Like cheese number 20, we're looking at this craft creamery cheese called Bonne Bouche. Bonne Bouche, it must be French, from Vermont Creamery. And it says it's goat cheese. So we've seen Vermont Creamery before. They've had a couple of specialty items here, and I've got this at Whole Foods like all the other things. And I'm looking at 4 ounces here for $10.99, so $44 a pound. Better be a special treat because no one's eating that every day. So this is all wrinkly. It has not got that white rind mold organism. This is that yellow stuff called Geotrichum candidum. So we need to break into this thing. It comes in a little wooden crate. It says Best By 7/6/2021. That's tomorrow. I better get busy. So it's got a little color on it besides that yellowish cast to the rind. It also has some gray ash on it, so it's not some terrible mold that's going to kill you or something's gone wrong with the cheese. It is gray, as you can see here and there. Let's see if it just comes out. Nope, not so lucky. How about that time? Nope. Come on, please come out. It is sticking in some sense. Ooh, yeah. Let's see what's going on. Part of the rind is sticking to the wood and part of it's not. I think there was a breach in the rind and wet stuff sticking to the wood. I'm scraping it down. Ooh. Okay. Good enough. So what we have is a very yellow, well, very wet, shiny. Yeah, wet is a good. If I cut this, I think it's just going to keep flowing. I'm going to get all my crackers and things ready. So, Bonne Bouche is listed in Liz Thorpe's book, the Book of Cheese, which is my guide for these cheeses. I met her at a tasting one time, and she signed the book, and I read it, and it explained all sorts of things to me and made me not afraid of cheese any longer. So Bonne Bouche is goat milk, from goat milk it says here. Aroma yeasty and wet hay, texture creamy to runny. It's getting, yeah, you can see that. Flavor milk, Meyer lemon, bread dough. And in short, no rough edges despite its goat origins. So she has a nice summary there, and this picture, this photo is of Bonne Bouche. So you can see all the wrinkly, brain-like character to the rind, and that's from that Geotrichum candidum. Well, no, that's a yeast. It tends to make it the rind yellow, but in this case they have some vegetable ash, no, poplar ash, oh, I forget. I think it's poplar ash that they put onto it. So I'm going to take a flatbread, and it broke the wrong way. Discard. There. Now, I'm afraid to even try to cut it in half. This is already running out in lots of directions. So you see why they put it in a wooden crate. I'll put pictures of the non-runny product. Wow. Yep, that is pretty wet and flowing. So I'll need some help eating this before it runs all over the place. So the mildest of funkiness on the nose. Maybe dairy notes coming through. And not very funky. And not very goaty on the nose anyway. Mm-hmm. Salty. Slightly goaty. Oh yeah, wow, yeah, it's got some funkiness. Yep, I like it. It doesn't bother me, but it's a certain direction that the Geotrichum cheeses take, I think. And Vermont Creamery specializes in goat milk and goat cheeses. So that is a constant for them. So everything they do is goat milk from Vermont and Canada. Tough bread crust. Can't tell if it's a goatiness or a funkiness in how the cheese grows or changes with the rind organism. I think it's the rind. Yeah, I think this is the most intensely flavored of the Vermont Creamery goat cheeses that I've had so far. So the saltiness, certainly perks up everything. It allows you access to lots of the flavors at their peak, probably. Wow, look at this run. This is just flowing all over the plate. And there's definitely a funkiness to it. It's not quite sulfury. It's not quite Old Socks or Wet Dog. But it's kind of facing that direction. And it's different than the cow milk cheeses have been that I've had recently. So I'm thinking it's at least partly due to the goat milk and partly due to the rind organism. And it's a good combination. Don't really have words for the kind of funkiness. It's just a little spiky in a different direction than some of the other funky things. It might be because of the rind organism. It's had a big effect so far. I think this one is about at the end of its useful life when it runs like this. I didn't smell any ammonia, but I mean, obviously it's not very useful as a spreadable cheese on a board. It will just run away from you. This is a typical end of useful life in a Brie-Like cheese, where the center is too fluid to stay put. But it's going with everything I'm putting in it. So I'm going to put it on a little bit of this bread. So got a moist interior and a tough crust. So I'm going to do some tearing and chewing. Wow, that's a lot. Let's see how this goes. Strong flavors, but I like it. Barely get dairy notes on the palate. It's creamy. You can tell it's fat and heavy fat mouthfeel. So any glistening you can see in the camera, you feel that in the texture. Very pleasant, very good. What kind of pairing do I want to do? Well, I brought fresh cherries. I usually do this with dried cherries, but I cut up a few fresh ones today, so I'll just put a half a cherry on. These are sweet cherries, not quite Bing, something like that. Wow. Super contrasty, but it goes pretty well. Okay, I'm going to try something with nuts that's failed most times before. We have a pretty strong cheese here, and I'm going to do some macadamia nuts. So 3 shouldn't underrepresent the macadamias. Wow, it's running off the side. Okay, here goes. That goes. I can taste it all. There's quite an aroma. That works pretty well. And these pieces aren't big enough to spread anything on. So Liz pegged this one right. It's a little bit goaty and stronger on the flavor scale. Fairly intense set of flavors for a brie. And there's some sort of mushroomy fungal characteristic, and then there's the funkier things that may be from goat milk or a little acidic or tangy. The Meyer lemon that she's talking about in her description is close. There's something tangy, sharp, gets your attention. It's not the goaty part, it's not the dairy part, it's not the rind part. I'm not sure where it comes from. But please be sure to like this video, leave comments and questions down below, subscribe to the channel, and click that bell to get notified when the new videos come out, usually on Mondays. So we're moving right along our Brie-Like cheese series, and you can come back and get a few more before we're done. So see you then, and cheers.